Hello and welcome to the next episode in my Casualty review series. Today we will be taking a look at Casualty Easy Way Out. As always, I have made some extensive notes on this episode and we will be diving straight in. So to start with, I would just like to let you guys know that Casualty will be released direct to BBC iPlayer on the Saturday morning. That therefore means that you can now watch Casualty earlier than its broadcast. So for those people who enjoy watching episodes before their release date, this is for you. For those people like me who are sane and actually want to watch the quality episodes at the time they were designed to be released, then you can stick with what you're doing now. Alright, now then, Faith and Ian's relationship in this episode has been lovely to watch. It's been very interesting, and it has been something completely different to what we've seen before, and it's actually really nice to see that. Now, Stevie at home was very tough to watch. It's very different, well, it's very unusual that we see Stevie in a vulnerable place. So to see her at home on her own is very tough to watch. A shame to see the death at the start of the episode in the house. Obviously happens off screen, presumably of old age, potentially of a heart attack. We don't know how, but that death was it's always uncomfortable when we see it in that light. And when we do, it's something that I unfortunately don't like. It's a shame really, but Ian's conversation with Liam, which was the son in the house, was lovely to watch. I think when we get things like this, we get that lovely moment of Ian really coming out of his shell. He was a very reserved man until he met Faith, and honestly, this just adds to the situation so much. Teddy and Jodie's relationship has been lovely to watch unfold on screen. Unfortunately for us, I don't think it will be going on much longer, and it has been rather uncomfortable in places as well, so I do think that they will be calling it quits on that storyline soon. Max and Dylan have a great relationship to watch. It's really interesting, especially with Dylan technically being the superior because he's the consultant, and Max being the more vulnerable and lower one, but in the higher position. It was a very interesting relationship to watch, and I really hope that this continues. Ngozi and Cam have a really good relationship. It's very rare that we see a relationship like that between a male and a female character, and in this series we are really getting the strong ones. Cam has actually got some really good relationships with everyone, but especially with Rita. They have some really lovely relationships, obviously because they came out at the same time. Not gay, they came into the story at the same time, so to have that equal relationship is lovely. Max's job in Sudan was, sudden and unexpected, and Jodie's reaction was tough to watch, especially with the way that he just springs it onto people. Of course, he first springs it on to Dylan, so to see it come back round to Jodie second, it's almost like, well, family, I should have been first, and it's like that why situation, but I mean, nothing I could do about it, obviously. The situation with Natalia was tough to watch, obviously, because it's such a strange situation to be in. I mean, the whole situation with her is just different, and I'm really, really hoping that we get more from it. Yeah. Cam suggesting a video of Ngozi was a lovely idea, and I really wish she'd given it more thought, because honestly, Ngozie's situation is very different to anything we've seen before in the show. Sorry, I'm really tired. It's like Sunday when I'm doing this. But anyway, it's a lovely idea. Obviously, Cam is a very different character to the people who we're used to seeing. So Cam having these great ideas does just add to his character, and that is what I want to see. Jacob and Ian's conversations add so much to the story and to their characters. They haven't known each other in this position for very long, because Jacob was obviously originally a nurse. I can't do it like this, sorry. Jacob was obviously originally a nurse, and with Jacob becoming a paramedic, we get so many interesting situations out of it, and it's something I really want to see. I'm going to see if I can get this to... That's just going to droop, isn't it? Sorry, I really want to see if these conversations and these storylines that they come out with are going to continue. And Teddy dancing was such a strange scene and so uncomfortable to watch. I'm sorry, who thought this was going to be a good idea? Whoever thought this was a good idea needs to be fired from the BBC writing team and given a new job, because I'm sorry, this is stupid. There, I said it as it is. Alright? Teddy offered Jodie some great advice though in this scene, and it was really good for their characters. I mean, we don't get that very often between them, and to see that was lovely, and I really hope we get more. Charlie discovering the potential suicide victim was tough to watch, in particular with the family reaction, because we don't get that a lot. And sorry, I'm keeping writing notes because at some point in like the next few years, some of these episodes that I've done in this notebook, they won't be on BBC iPlayer, and I want to remember them. So that's why I'm writing loads of notes on top of it, and eventually I want it all to look something like that, so I can just like refer back to it. I think the best example of that is that one. I mean, I just want like notes everywhere, so I can just refer back to them in the future. So the family reaction, and of course, it's tough to watch. And the whole idea of suicide in media is still a bit, do we do it, do we not? So the idea of that is something I really don't want to watch. Natalia's phone call was unexpected, uncomfortable, and in many ways the wrong move for her character. This whole situation with her and Ian, I'm glad is probably coming to a close. And hopefully we can get some new storylines coming in soon. Obviously they've had such a tough relationship, and this whole idea of it closing really does just need to happen quicker. Obviously Faith takes steps at the end. I will get to that when we get to the whole Faith bit, which is down here. And yeah, anyway, Harry was brilliant with the relative. Unfortunately, it's only on this occasion, and it's this one occasion. And unfortunately, I don't think we'll get anything more out of it. I think this will be either the last or one of the last times we see Harry. So, Harry, I think you will be leaving soon. And unfortunately, that means we're going to need a new police officer, because we have not seen... Oh, what was she called? Jan's ex in a while. Oh my lord. What's that woman called? I can't think of her name, I'm so sorry. But whatever she's called, we probably won't be seeing any of her because of the strained relationship with Jan, and it just does not add to the story anymore. It's just making Jan look like a bit of a bitch. Drunk Natalia was very funny, but it just added to the situation, plus the puke. I mean, on to Jacob. It was funny and it was just what we needed. Comic relief. Let's get it going. This was a very dark episode at the start, and the comic relief is really what we needed to begin with. I'm sorry, I know I'm looking directly up at you. If I put you any further down, like if I put you further down on my thing, it just drooped and I wasn't holding it today, so this is where we were. Anyway. Faith is great to have back on working care. The way she deals with the family and the way she deals with relatives is sorry, that's what family is. The way she deals with relatives and the patients, especially the younger patients, is great. She has a great way with people, and that is just what we need, honestly. The morning after pill line was so tough to hear delivered and very hard hitting. I mean, when we think about things like this, it's tough, but it's the reality, and the way they tackle things like this is perfect, and we just need it to keep going like that. Max leaving the hospital was very uncomfortable, and it does just ruin their him and Jodie's relationship even more. And that is such a shame. Sorry, that's such a shame, because unfortunately we don't get a lot of scenes of them together, because their relationship has been strained and strained and strained for so long that we just need it to like progress a bit. Charlie finding the tooth fragment belonging to Harry's wife was very worrying, and unfortunately it did just make everything worse. I mean, I had my doubts to begin with of Harry from the previous episode, and seeing that just hit hard. I mean, to be able to see that was brilliant, and I loved it. Ian snapping at Natalia was very uncomfortable, but warranted at this point, and I want this to end. I'm really hoping that it doesn't damage him and Faith's relationship too much, and the salvaging is possible, but I highly doubt it. And I really do hope that within the next few years we'll be able to see more of their relationship. The police arresting Harry was a perfect scene and well put together with the "it's not my fault, you know me, you know my situation." Perfect. We know what we're doing. Rita is such a fun character, and honestly, she is great to watch. Like, we all know a Rita in our lives, and having that just makes this whole situation with her and Rash feel so much more irritating. But it's so funny to watch her in every scene, because my favourite line of hers from this episode: "Which arm has the juiciest vein?" What on earth is she doing? She makes me laugh, and it's perfect. She's a great nurse, and we need her forever. And I really do hope that they're not just going to axe her, because she is great. Jodie saying that she's done with Max is so tough, especially when we consider the fact that she's not been around very long, and it is such a shame. She's only been in the show about 3 months, something like that. Yeah, but honestly, I think she came Oh no, she came with Welcome to the War Zone alongside Donna and Cam and the other ones. So, I mean, it's just a shame. Charlie going to Stevie's was a great idea with great lines said, and it was perfect to have been Charlie because of his connection to Harry, because obviously he has a previous connection to Harry. We don't know too much about it. I really don't care about it, no disrespect, but that was perfect. We needed that so much. Faith wanting to talk about things with Ian was lovely. I mean, we needed this so much earlier, and then Ian just like pouring his heart out, explaining everything. It just like off. We needed this. Ian telling Faith about Natalia was a great scene, and the reaction from Faith was spot on to begin with. It does not stay the same forever, unfortunately, and I do think that she does just need to bring it back a bit. But the reaction at first was great. And then we get the telling of the morning after pill. This was the nail in the coffin, in my opinion. And as much as it was great, and it adds to the characters and it adds drama, we also end up in this situation where Faith overreacts a little, and it is a shame. It is such a shame, and unfortunately we end up in that situation. Now, I am going to go through this. By now, I'm sure you all know what I'm going to say, but with this episode and some of its themes, we really do need to consider it. Please, 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 if you have experienced anything that's been discussed in this episode, go to bbc.co.uk/action line or call 0800 666 666. Alternatively, you can call Childline at 0800 1111. Next week's Casualty will be releasing at 9:20 on BBC One, or you can watch it from the morning on BBC iPlayer. This is the penultimate episode of A History of Violence, but my question for today's review is, do we think this is the end of Harry's story? In my opinion, I do not think it is. I think he will be back at some point. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys today. I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye. Also, for those people who've been watching loads of my reviews, look at how much I've got through in that notebook. Like, that is crazy. I'm also doing something else at the moment, so best go and get some more notes done on that. I'm about 2/3 of the way through that, so I'll get that done either today or tomorrow, and then we're all done for the week. Anyway, that's me done. You can go now. Bye bye.